Namaste to everyone, to all the viewers across the globe. This is our third time meeting for the online satsang. As usual, before we start, let's start with the prayer. I will be very slow, as I always tell you, because for translation in other countries, it would be easier. So let's go ahead with the prayer. You can repeat along with me. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudakshate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly open your eyes. Even at your house, when you come back from your work, before starting meditation, try to spend just a minute before the starting of meditation with a prayer. Prayer is very, very, very important because this prayer or mantra will stop your thought patterns. Generally, you come from outside to the house, going through a lot of things, and by chanting this mantra or the prayer, the thought patterns become more and more calm, which makes your meditation very easy. There was one question regarding these prayers at the beginning. So, this is the answer for that. So, we shall take up the questions one by one. The first question is is a very, very good question. Very good question. Why do we use icons or images of the godly people like Buddha, Jesus, or Acharya? Is there any energetic reason to that? Such image will spread energies around. Is this not duality? Since we tell we should not be attached to materialistic things. Sure. First of all, let me tell you the reasons in descending order. Means the topmost priority will be set in the first, and then the lesser priority ones will follow up. The first and foremost thing, why to have pictures of godly people or masters, gurus, whatever it might be, as people call it as, is only because of one important reason, that by having these pictures at home or at home or at workplace or wherever it is, you will see them. And the moment you see them, what will you remember? You will not remember about a movie. You will not remember about any kind of incidents which you like, which you don't like, whatever it might be. But all you remember when you see them is their teachings. That is the most important thing. Because as you said, anyone who sees Gautama the Buddha, the statue of Gautama the Buddha, the first thing anyone can understand, or any man, even if not spiritual being, they can they can understand, or the first point that comes to their mind is enlightenment, is meditation. These are the 2 points which is synonymous to Buddha. It is the quality of Buddha, nature of Buddha. In the same way, if someone is having a picture of Jesus Christ, the first thing what they can understand by seeing him, his teachings, which was nothing but love and compassion. So, to make you remember those teachings, seeing these pictures will help you so that you don't forget. And what are the spiritual teachings? Whether it might be me, or it might be a Buddha, or it might be anyone else. In spiritual world, we are all speaking about enlightenment. We are all speaking about nirvana, bringing out from the illusion of this world and living as a space. Space has no boundaries. It is just vast, infinite, unlimited. And your bliss, your happiness, your joy is like space. And you can understand this just by having a glance on the picture of any godly beings. It will flash as soon as you see it. It will immediately flash. When people see Shiva, I will tell both the cases. Shiva in the Linga form and Shiva as it is. When you see Shiva in a cylindrical shape, just like a Linga, you have to understand that it is shapeless means universe is shapeless. It is infinite. We cannot restrict the infinity to something of our own imagination. That is not possible. So that is what it says, that it is shapeless. And there are many understandings about the linga. If you see linga from the top like this, you will see that there is a circle which will be around it and linga is inside, which means that like universe is large, it's vast, and the force is in the center. That is what it symbolizes, that Shiva is infinite. And nothing, the true self which is there, it doesn't have any shape, form, nothing. And if you see Shiva in another form, where they show it as like a human form, he will have a third eye here. So when you see Shiva in that form, you will know that like there is something to be awakened. Our Agna Chakra, third eye. This thought comes as soon as you see it. It is very immediate. So hence this kind of images helps. Energetically, how it helps is any kind of enlightened being has tremendous energy from within. And this energy is only because of coming out from the illusion of the limited self. So any kind of invocation mantras or Guru mantra, like Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Nama. These mantras, when it is said in front of whichever Guru it might be, irrespective of Jesus, Lavazu, Krishna, or whomever it might be, it invokes and you get connected to that enlightened energy. Even inside you, there is enlightened energy. Inside everyone, there is enlightened energy. But one who brings it out and is able to leave that energy, not just keeping it inside, but living it. It is like you might have a beautiful car in your garage, but you are not driving it on street. You are just keeping it in the garage. But you have to drive it to experience. In the same way, that enlightened energy which is in you gets connected with that enlightened energy. And then you will be able to experience yourself. The first step, how it gets connected, is because of my point number one. Point number one is when you see such people, you get connected. You remember that it's about meditation, it's about peace, it's about love, it's about compassion. So you fall under a deep state of meditative state. In that state of consciousness, 50% of the work will be done. The rest 50% will happen when you connect your true self, your enlightened energy, with that which is living that experience by bringing it out. So that is the importance of having the picture, or why people keep such pictures at the place or wherever it might be. So we will go for next question. My wife was not spiritual, and she doesn't meditate or read books. But nowadays, she started to show some interest. And what should I do? Well, the question is that it is coming from India, that there is a man who loves his wife, and she was not spiritual. She was not interested in meditation. And later on, he might have been insisting. And now she has started to read the books. So he's asking, what should he do? First of all, since you are saying that you love her very much, if you love her, then accept her in all of her perfection and imperfection. There is no need to say or to put pressure on her. Of course, I understand your concern too. You want her to be a meditative person. That is fine. But now she has started to read some books, and the process is going on. You have done your job. Every being's responsibility is to introduce whomever they know to meditation, to spirituality. Just introducing. When I say introducing, I don't mean you should force. I don't believe in forcing anyone. Just you tell them what you are doing and what is meditation to you. And if you are deeply meditative, You don't need to say anything, or you don't need to say much. They will understand and they will start to follow the spiritual path. Otherwise, you force, things will not work. Maybe because of your force, she might be reading some books. If this gives you happiness, you can go ahead with that. But if you want her to be genuinely spiritual, you have done your part by introducing her to spirituality. And now onwards, don't force her. This is what I want to tell you. Because as you say, that she has started to read the books, forcibly or not forcibly, you have succeeded a little bit. Now let existence take care of it. Every time you need not have to force. There is something which happens naturally, and let it happen now. I remember of a joke. I would like to tell this joke. Once there was a man by name Mullah Nasruddin. He was crying loudly at his house, and Mullah Nasruddin's mother came to him and asked, "My beloved son Mullah, why are you crying?" He said, "I have fallen in love with a girl, but she's an atheist." Mullah's mother is very religious, and she said, "Until she becomes a Muslim, I cannot agree to this marriage." Next day, Mullah went and told to his girlfriend that his mother will accept for this marriage only if she is a Muslim. So she should know the Quran completely. And because of the love, she accepted. 30 days later, Mullah was again crying at his house. And Mullah's mother asked, "What happened? She is not okay to become religious now? Is she still an atheist?" Then Mullah replied, "No, the problem is that now she has become too much religious after reading Quran, and now she wants to be a nun." So in the same way, do not force the things. Let it happen. And I am not saying your wife is going to be a nun. All I mean to say is that everyone's responsibility is to introduce people to spirituality. Afterwards, whatsoever will happen for sure. You don't need to influence the things to that extent. This is what I would like to tell you. Let's go for next question. Well, what do you think about feelings? Second question is why Shiva is having several wives, but Shakti has only one husband. Why men in the Indian mythology can have several women, but not women have several men. Okay, no problem. Let me start with the first question. What do you think about feelings? Let's go very deep into this subject of feelings. Like, what is a feeling? Where it comes from? Why it comes? And what exactly is this? And also, I tell you how to deal with this. Feelings come and go because of our identification with something. For instance, there might be a mosquito which is coming from my right side to the left side. When it was coming onto my right, maybe I'm feeling that it's going to bite me. And the time when it comes here, I will try to catch it. And suppose if I fail to catch it, it moves away onto my left side and it's gone. So, thoughts in the same way, when we think of a subject or a thing like person, maybe materialistic things, or anything which depends on our thought, our fears, we get identified with that. And when we get identified with something, we give lots of our energy into it. And when we give so much energy into something, a thought, then that becomes a kind of reality. This reality takes place in our mind. Like, I'll just close my eyes, think of a person. I have some identification with this person, some kind of attachment. Now, this person and this attachment, both things are sitting in the mind. Now, all my thoughts are giving energy to this attachment or this person or this relationship to such an extent that it is creating a kind of reality only in the mind. I am not saying it is positive or negative. It can be anyways. Now, if it is positive, of course, we feel very happy, very joyous, very relaxed and peaceful. But in case if it is something negative, which we don't like, which we don't want, it creates a kind of suffering. It makes us cry. So until we get attached to a particular thought, which we cage it like a possession, and we keep it, we don't let go of that. Feelings itself is not bad. Feeling itself cannot cause any problem. But the real problem is when we get identified with that, when we show that attachment, and when we pour our energy into it by making it a reality. Because consciousness is like water, it doesn't have any magnitude, shape, nothing, just like water. Whatever container you pour water into, it takes the same shape. Water itself doesn't have any shape. In the same way is consciousness. Wherever you channel this, that becomes your reality. And that is how feelings emerge. You will have a loving feeling. Although this word is very wrong. Love is not a feeling. Love is a pure state of consciousness. But still, I will use this word, generally used, a loving feeling. It is because you love someone and you can observe or you can perceive the things that you've been loved. You feel good. Maybe that person is loving you, but it is not up to your level, your expectation. But still, love is there. But you feel sad. That is because of that reason, which I'm saying, that you are identifying with your own image in the mind about everything. Your true self is like space. Space is fresh. Space a million years ago was the same, and a million years afterwards, it will be the same. There will be a lot of stars, planets, which can be collapsed, might be reborn again. But space remains the same. You are that space. Like how in this space, the stars, planets, comets are created and destroyed, but still space remains. In the same way, you create your feelings based on your identification with that. And if you don't get identified with the things and understand that you are the space, you don't need to get identified with anything. Trust me. You are such an immense, infinite energy. This life, take it as a drama. Just enjoy however it is. Like a movie. Then you will enjoy the life. There is nothing to think about. There is nothing to worry about. You are just here for a few days. None of these stories which is happening here on this earth is of any importance. Once you leave this body, all the stories associated with the body is gone. So tell this to yourself always and stay away from identifying with any thoughts that you get. It comes. Let it come. If you don't capture it, it will go also. There's no need to keep it with you. Just accept and let go. Do not capture, do not resist. Let it come, observe, because the infinite space or the true self, which you are, is witnessing everything like a CCTV camera. A CCTV camera, which is on the streets, will monitor a person who is breaking the law, will monitor someone who is talking happily over cell phone on the streets. It will capture a beautiful baby smiling in the baby car and passing across it. It captures everything. Simply witness that is possible to you. Close your eyes, stay relaxed, and tell yourself that you are just a pure consciousness, just here in this human consciousness, in this human incarnation. Tell this to you always and see that feelings will slowly move away from you. I am going to the core of this subject of feeling. This is your reality, your true self. So we will go to your next question. Why Shiva is having several wives, but Shakti has only one husband? Why men in Indian mythology can have several women, but not women have several men? Okay, the first question is why Shiva is having several wives, but Shakti has only one husband? There is some mistake in the understanding. Shiva has one and only wife, Parvati. That's all. He doesn't have many wives. No. Mythologically, scriptures, everywhere it says that he is having only one wife, Parvati. That is all. He doesn't have more wives. Parvati, another name Shakti. It is the same. Shakti is also having one husband, just like Shiva having one wife. They are perfectly, happily in a monogamous relationship. So he is not having several wives now. I don't know where this information you got, but it is wrong. As far as Shiva is concerned, he has only one wife. Why men in the Indian mythology can have several women, but not women have several men? Before answering this, I would like to tell something, a very important point about Shiva and Shakti. Shiva and Shakti should not be seen as two beings. In fact, they are not beings at all. They don't exist in the way people think, like having a human form. There is one Shiva, one Shakti. No. In Eastern religions, like the oldest one, Hinduism, and then comes Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, everything. The pictorial representation of deities gives a hidden message behind them. Shiva Shakti means male and female aspect within a being. A being is always male as well as female. There is some feminine qualities, there is some masculine qualities in every being, every single being. This is what it is shown in the form of Shiva and Shakti. The word Shiva itself means love, bliss. So it means that Shiva consciousness is synonymous to bliss consciousness, means being in an enlightened plane. Shakti means literal translation to English energy. So these are the codes which is hidden behind them. Do not think that Shiva exists as a man form and he is having a wife as a women form. No. Without Shiva, there is no Shakti. Without Shakti, there is no Shiva. They both coexist. Make a small research on Ardhanareshwara. Ardhanareshwara, in that very picture, you will see Shakti on the left side, Shiva on the right side, which means the feminine part, the left part, or the right part, which is the masculine part. So that is what is the secret behind this Shiva and Shakti as one. So it's one consciousness. It's not two. It's not two beings. And next, you are asking me, like, in Indian mythology, why men have several women and women doesn't have several men? Well, in Indian mythology, many people are kings, and kings normally used to have many wives since long time. Alexander had many. There has been Chanakya was there in India. Ashoka was there, or even Guptas, or even the kingdom of Vijayanagar Samraj. All these great kings, it might be even Cyprus the Great, they all had several wives. It is been like that. It was for many reasons also that they were signing some treaties with the neighboring kingdoms. They used to get married. Many reasons. But in mythology, many kings who were on this earth, it is because that they were kings. That is all. Apart from that, there is no other reason. But among all these things, Krishna, a god man and the central figure of the Hinduism, is always said to have 16,000 wives. In fact, 16,008 wives. But no one knows the story behind it. There was a great demonic man. His name was Narakasura. This Narakasura abducted, kidnapped 16,000 married women, unmarried girls, all sorts of women from the village and kept them in his captive. And he might have done whatever he wanted to do, tortured, raped. When these women came back, their husbands, their family disowned them. And in this culture here in India, if the woman goes through such things, he's been raped, it was not so easy for their men to accept them back. So, for this reason, Krishna said, fine, I will give you a place and I will marry you all and I will be your husband. I will accept everyone unconditionally. And he got married. This doesn't mean that he was living with them as a real husband. No. But for the society, for everyone, to show that These women are not someone whom they can take advantage of. He married them. For instance, right now in today's world, if you are reading the newspaper or on internet, you might have heard of two dangerous terrorist organization by name ISIS and Boko Haram. Boko Haram comes from Nigeria, who have recently abducted girls between the age of 12 to 18, all underaged schoolgirls. And how many girls? 400 girls, and kept them in their captivity. Now they are telling to the people that those poor girls have been raped, they have been subjected to tortures, and married off to a lot of their own terrorist men, fighters, and later will be sold. Now, who will marry such women? Honestly, who will marry? All sorts of men are sick. The moment they hear these things, they would not like to marry a girl like that. This is what happened in times of Krishna. And Narakasura was no better than Boko Haram or ISIS or Al Qaeda. That is why he married them. Many people even talk about Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, that he married an underage girl. But no one knows who was his first wife. You will be surprised. Prophet Muhammad's first wife was a widow, 15 years elder than him. And he married to give a life to her. So there is a hidden reasons behind all these marriages which has taken place. But there are also some perverted men who wanted more and more and more and more. And they were very criminal kind of people also. Like Krishna's own son was like that. So these people are also there. So I'm not talking about them. And if you are asking me why women do not have many men, that's not true again. In Indian mythology, you have answer for everything. Go for Mahabharat scripture. Search for a character by name Draupadi. Today itself, just go and make a research on Draupadi. You will find that she is one and she had five husbands. Arjuna, Nakula Sahadeva, Dharmaraya, Bhima. Five husbands. 1:5. Don't ask me more questions. So, there exist incidents where a woman had more than one husband also. Not only her, we can give more references. It is found in the mythology. Women too had more than one husband. Polygamy was not something which was a taboo if you go by scriptures. There are many things which priest asks not to do, but when we see the scriptures, they say something else. For example, somebody was asking me that why I have a mustache and a beard. And I said, it is naturally growing, and I am allowing it to grow naturally. I should ask you the question why you are shaving your mustache and beards, because that is not natural. Growing is natural. Why are you shaving it off? So, in the same way, like many things are very natural. Those times they used to live life very naturally without thinking nothing. Now people think a lot for everything. Don't understand the things through scriptures because they will not give us the answers. Go inside, lock yourself there, and you will get all the answers. If you go by scriptures, there are at least 10 instances in Bible which glorifies incest. You can find sex between brothers and sisters, father and daughters, between aunt and a niece. Everything in Bible. In the book of Genesis. So let us see the scriptures. Take something which is good in that for our development, for our evolution. If something unwanted, mediocre kind of stuff exists, then we can simply reject it. That is the reason why Brahma, a deity, his vehicle is swan. Because if you mix water with milk and give it to swan, it drinks only the milk and leaves behind the water. That is the significance of keeping it as a vehicle for Brahma. Now, if people think that a big Brahma who looks as a very fat man in the drawings, a 90-kilo old man sitting on a poor 5-kilo duck, well, That seems like animal rights violation. So don't take it literally. Just take the meaning behind it and leave it off. Coming back to your question, yes, there are incidents when women have more than one man also. It is accepted in the scriptures, many incidents. So we will go to next question. There is a list of questions here coming from Europe, of course. And the list of question is, do you think you are a chosen one of God's? How do you consider yourself? Are you worshipped? Do you have superpowers? What makes you different? Well, I always find, I have always found it difficult for few questions. And the one which is asking very personal question, and second things about the questions which Buddha said that there should not be any answer. Because God, Spirit, everything is a Anubhava Vakya, which is something to be experienced. And when you are constantly experiencing it, you can't speak about it. But sometimes people insist. And all I do those time is to just be silent and tell them the same. And now there is this question that, do you think you are a chosen one of God? First of all, as I have always said, I don't believe in God who chooses, who does something, or a God which is separate. So there is no God who has chosen me, if I have to answer your question. Rather, I have chosen myself to be here. It is my choice. Just like how you have made choice to be here, in the same way, even I have made my choice to be here. I have made my choice to what to do and what I am doing. Life is all about choice. It is not chance, it is by choice. So I am not chosen, I am not a chosen one, but I am myself here. But if I have to use your language to make it more clear, yes, I am a chosen one. How do you consider yourself? I don't consider myself to be anything. That is the reality. I am extraordinarily ordinary man. And that makes extraordinary for others. And I can't consider myself to be something. It is not what I consider, it is what I am. And that I am is what is best description for who I am. Only I am exist. It's not I, it is I am. When someone asked this question to Adi Shankaracharya, he said, Aham Brahmasmi, Iham Tattvamasi. I am the Brahman, which is the supreme consciousness, and you are that. In the same way, you are asking me, like, what do you consider yourself? I don't consider myself to be anything because I didn't need to consider myself to be something because I am already am that which cannot be described, where words fail to explain, and that infinite source is what I am. So this is not consideration, but this is the living truth which I am. This is an answer for your question. Next question you are asking me, are you worshipped? I am worshipped, but there is a reason behind it. I am worshipped not because of what you can see me here, but I am worshipped for the truth which I carry. And that truth which I'm carrying is eternal. And that truth which I'm carrying, which I'm experiencing, which I'm dwelling with, is the truth which is in you also. But the difference is, I am in the truth, completely soaking. It is like a lot of people sitting around the swimming pool. I have jumped into the swimming pool. And this water in the swimming pool is nothing but the truth. It's the consciousness, that immense love. I'm completely in that. And when someone jumps into the ocean, it spills a little bit outside also. And that falls on everyone. So the truth is experienced when they see the truth. And that is the reason why people worship. People worship the truth, not me. Because the truth today can exist in this form. After a few years, This body might be gone, and for that body, they are not worshipping. They are worshipping nothing but truth. And truth is dwelling in this form, so they keep it. Or the truth was dwelling in Gautama the Buddha, or in Krishna, or in Changsu, or in Bodhidharma, or whoever it might be, or in Jesus Christ, Saint Francisco de Assisi, whoever it might be, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, they were all worshipping the truth which was in them. And that truth is the same truth which is in you also, but you have not awakened it yet. For that truth, they are worshipping. So if you ask me, are you worshipped? Yes. But it's not me, but it's the truth which is worshipped. It is the truth, it is the infinite truth, which they are seeing it through this form. Do you have superpowers? What makes you different? If I answer this question, it will not be nice. Since I know who you are asking this question, and you know me too, it's better that you ask this question with someone who has spoken to me, known me for some time, and ask their experience with me. This is the way you can authenticate my statement. Don't believe in what I say. I will repeat it. Do not believe in my words until it comes from your own experience. Do not believe in my words until someone tells you about it. If it comes to your experience, or if you speak with someone who has experienced this, then you can know yourself the answer for this question. So I would not like to answer. For me, it is a very difficult situation when someone asks question about myself, because sometimes what I say, you might not understand it in the way I am telling it. And I don't like to speak about myself. And lastly, you have asked, what makes you different? Well, I think I'm having brown skin. You might be having white skin. I will answer this question. Maybe you are asking, being a spiritual master, what is different in you than in others? First thing is about the practical things. Second thing is about the spiritual thing. The practical thing is that if you see my life, it has been very different and extraordinary. You can see my photographs meditating, reading the scriptures. From the age of 3, there were some videos documented those times, which answers your first question that I was chosen in your words. And then I survived 2 accidents very miraculously. When first time I was under the water for 20 minutes and I had an accident in the bus. Under the water for 20 minutes when I was losing the blood from both of my legs, and scars are still there just the way it was on the day of accident, just like that. Sometimes people have seen me and asked me about it also. I lost blood immensely without oxygen for 20 minutes in the water when my lungs was with water. Still death could not touch. And even after that, many experiences, like I've spent my time in Himalayas, and many things has happened so far. And one of my devotee even took the book of an American professor by name Dr. George, who has written the translation of Nostradamus' prediction of 20th century. And he has written that at the end of 20th century, spirit of truth shall rise in the Asia Pacific, the country of India, and his name will be Grace of God. And if you see that I was born in 1986, precisely at the end of 20th century, and from south of India in Asia Pacific. And my name on the passport, official legal name is Guru Prasad, which literally means offering or grace of God. And they also said that he will excel in technical education. I am an engineer by profession. And then it says that first the man travels to the east and then to the west. First, I started from Asia, Nepal, Bhutan. Then I came to Europe. And they said, he shall cross the Pyrenees mountains and reach the south of France and makes his base there. And when the aeroplane comes from east side of Europe to west side, it crosses the mountains of Italy and then it reaches the south of France, which is nothing but the Montpellier where the foundation was registered, the spiritual foundation which we are doing our activities. And it also says that the man shall have a house in India as well as in Europe. I do have my house in Hungary and in India too. There are lots of predictions which directly points out to me and my life, my experience, the truth that I have been speaking and changing the lives of thousands of people, whoever has come across me. For me, what matters is how much I can infect people with the truth, how much more godly that I can make them. And this effort makes me different, absolutely different. For that, I have sacrificed everything in my life. And I don't feel like sacrifice also because my whole intention, my whole life is to spread the truth. So this is how it is. I accept every people. I love them all equally, whoever it might be, whatever they might be, it doesn't matter. This is what is my being. And if you ask me what is different, this might be different, at least in my eyes. If the same love, if the same thing exists, which of course I believe do exist in many cases, then even they too are different. Differences is only on basis of how unconditional, how loving, how compassionate you are. Nothing else matters apart from that, whatever it might be. So having said this, we are coming to an end of this week's satsang. Whatever questions which was unanswered will be answered in the next satsang. So see you all. As always, it is wonderful speaking with you. Take care and namaste.